So, namaste and welcome to Pramanic Astrology channel. And on this Friday evening, we'll be having a live session to cover your questions. Okay, and I want namaste. Let's see who has joined. Pranav Verma, how are you? Hi, welcome. Harsun Malhotra, welcome. Okay, guys, if you have any question, please share your questions. Okay, and we'll be covering your questions, and if any one of you can put a timestamps, that will be great. Just comment that timestamps after the session. Is anybody interested in putting the timestamps? Please put that into the comment section. Hello Neeraj, help me 100, good day. Yes, Nicole McKenna, hello. Claude Salvador, namaste, freaking awesome, welcome. G2 Nair, hi sir, how are you? Yes, I'm great. Kashmi Jangit, hello sir, hello Kashmi. Okay, so have you guys have watched the video on Rahu Ketu transit? We have not covered the Ketu transit in detail, so just I want to know if you have watched the Rahu transit video in Aries. Did you like that? Okay, we are getting the questions. Anybody for the timestamps? Anybody's looking for the timestamps? Can anybody help me with timestamps? Not yet. Please watch the Rahu transit video. Claude Salvador, what is your ascendant? Okay, now I think we have Sejal Singwala. I'm the ascendant. Okay, so I want to know what are your questions. Okay, we'll be covering questions. Do you want me to cover few questions crisp in detail, or you want me to cover all your questions? Okay, just put yes if you want only the limited questions in depth. Put as limited, or you want the if you want me to cover all your questions, I'm fine with that. So can you tell one fact about each ascendant sign of D9 chart? Okay. Hello, sir. Hope your family is doing well. Yes. Agniya Trivedi Siddharthullah Limited. Yes. Yes. Limited. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can take a poll here. Let me check. Okay. Now, a lot of comments have come. Let me just. Bro, Ravan Venus and Aquarius in D9. Okay. Namaste. Harsh Kavali's sun in this cusp. So thoughts on Mercury Mars retrograde in 11th house Aries. Christina all. Okay. Now, so we will cover 5 questions today. Okay. So that in a limited time we'll be able to deep dive into those questions. So make sure you are asking general questions so that those having relevant planetary placements will be able to understand it. Okay, otherwise I will have to take all the questions, because this session is dedicated to Q&A, because the idea is, in a week I will upload the videos, and on Friday we will have a live session wherein we will discuss, we'll take your questions, and we'll discuss about your queries as well. Okay, so if you have any questions around your the videos I uploaded, like Rahu, Ketu, Mars in Aquarius, Venus in Capricorn, and so on, you can always ask me those questions. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's get started. Okay, debilitated Darakaraka in D1 mean. Okay, so it's a very good question. Darakaraka, some of you may not be, some of you are aware of the Darakaraka concept, but some of you may not know that. So let me put that into, let me, just introduce this. So Darakaraka is a planet with the lowest degree. This is a Gemini concept. This is not a Parashari concept. Okay, so when a Darakaraka is debilitated, it shows that those are the qualities of the planet you lack in your life. Okay, and that's what you seek in the partner. Let's say you have Venus as your Darakaraka, or let's say Saturn as your Darakaraka, and let's say you have Saturn placed into the D1 chart in Aries, which is debilitated. Okay, and is also in a lower degree. So what it shows is, you have to look for a partner. Okay, so you lack certain things associated with Saturn, like discipline, taking responsibilities, and so on. So you seek and look for a partner who has either Saturn exalted into their chart, or those who have Saturn exalted as atmakaraka planet. Okay, but debilitation of Darakaraka in D1 literally means that you lack those qualities in your life, and that's what you seek in partner. Okay, so it was a very good question. Thank you, Aditi. I'm new to your channel. Thank you, Selpas. Just browse all the videos. If you have any query around your video, any doubt, just put your comment into the comment section of that relevant video. I read all the comments and I reply to all the comments. Okay, I put in like 3 to 4 hours every day to read the comments. Okay, so put your comments into the comment section, and sometimes if I don't reply within, let's say, couple of days, just make a fresh comment, because sometimes I lose that thread. I don't get the notification for the replies on the comment. Okay, and if you have any query, always reach out to me. Happy to help. Okay, so yes, so please tell one fact about different ascendant signs on D9 chart. In fact, I'm planning a course on D9 secrets. Okay, I'll be putting it soon. Okay, if you're interested, you will get all the details about that. Would you mind explaining on how career will shift for Ketu conjunct Cancer rising as the node shift to Aries and Libra? For Ketu conjunct Cancer rising as the node shifting from, you know, the first thing I would recommend you for during this time is, let's say you have Cancer ascendant, so the Ketu is moving from Scorpio, from your 10th to your ninth. Okay, so for Cancer rising, the Rahu will be coming into the 10th house, and Ketu will be coming into the fourth house. From fifth house, it will come to the fourth house. Okay, so what it shows is it will bring in new opportunities for you, because see, Rahu is the planet which does not like confusion. It itself is confusion, but when it comes to work, the 10th house is literally the house above your head. Okay, so these are the like this is literally above your head, so that is the brightest and that's open. Okay, so Rahu operates best in the 10th house, and when it comes into the 10th house in transit, it shows that you will accept the new responsibilities happily during this time. Okay, but at the same time, Ketu in the fourth house, it will always be a tug of war between your emotional stability, as in what you want to do and what you do, and what you feel like doing it, so I would recommend for Cancer ascendant person with this change in Aries Libra axis for this transit is doing things which makes them happy. Okay, no matter how dumb those activities are or what people think about that activities, just do those activities which will make you happy. Okay, this is not a cliche statement, do what you love and all that. No, 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 I'm talking specifically about Cancer ascendant people during this transit, because now Rahu is in its home ground. Rahu is transiting over its 10th house. Okay, and in a natal chart you have Rahu placed into the seventh house. Seventh house is seventh house, let me just put it in text here. Seventh house is seventh from seventh. Okay, so seventh house is seventh from the seventh, and not seventh from the seventh, 10th from the 10th. Okay, so the seventh house is the ultimate 10th house. And now Rahu is in the 10th house, 10th from the 10th in natal chart. And now Rahu will be transiting over the 10th house for Cancer ascendant during this time. Okay. So I would say that this is the best time to accept new responsibility at work, new role at work, and it will bring in a lot of new changes. Rahu is also about the foreign things, so you will be connected with the foreign things with respect to your job or work, and it will also bring in some kind of a futuristic approach at work. Okay, bringing in technology as well. Okay, so these are the things which I can see for Cancer ascendant and with the shift of Rahu Ketu axis. Okay, I'm just browsing for the next question, which is generic. Don't ask specific questions because it is not possible. Today is not a day where we will go through all the questions. We'll cover 5 to 10 questions, which will, help everybody who will watch it even after this. Okay, and make sense to it. Okay, and if any one of you is willing to put a timestamps question wise, you're highly appreciated. Okay, I would love that. Okay, let's look for another question. Okay. Rahu Venus conjunction in Aquarius sign what will happen in D9? That you have to see, right? How would I know what is happening in D9 for you? See, D9 is nothing but the degree of the D1. Okay, I've also already shared the template as well. You can check that. My Lagna Lord was in 12th house in retrograde. Okay. So let's say when Lagna Lord is in the 12th house, when the first house Lord itself is in the 12th house, it is the farthest from the Lagna. Okay. It is adjacent to Lagna, very close to Lagna, but the farthest from the Lagna, if we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, the 12th house is the farthest from it. It is the foreign place. Okay. So Lagna getting into the 12th house shows your whole life force, your ascendant, your focus, your orientation is into the foreign things. Okay, 12th house is also about isolation, dreams, abstract things. You will be attracted towards all these things. Significance, Siddharth Ullal, significance of Saturn combust atmakaraka. Okay, combust is a altogether different concept and we usually follow it, but let's say you have a atmakaraka. I got your question. So if you have an atmakaraka which is combust, right? So whenever you have atmakaraka is a planet which shows your true self. In Gemini, atmakaraka is a planet with the highest degrees. Okay, so you always have to look at the condition of atmakaraka to see how you feel. Okay, the first thing is Saturn is your atmakaraka. Okay, so you will have all the qualities of Saturn when it comes to self, but the Saturn getting combust, there are two things. First, you have to see if it is really combust by checking the degrees. Let's assume it is real close to sun and is combust. Then you will have you will have problems with your identity. Okay, people might think your life is good, but you yourself may not appreciate it. There will be a lot of confusion around yourself, the atmakaraka, right? Atma is nothing but the close word to atma is soul or self, and now that is getting combust. The condition of atmakaraka just applied to how you feel and who you are. Okay, so that will give you an idea about that. I hope this has helped you. If you still have any question, you can always comment. Ankita Adhikar, in Libra ascendant, Saturn is placed into the sixth house. Okay, being retrograde, and Jupiter is placed. This is too specific, Ankita. Yeah, I think you have already posted this into the Saturn in the sixth house video. I'll reply it there. Okay, will my fourth and house will be weaker? My Jupiter is placed into, so for Libra ascendant, let's cover this as well. Okay, so for Libra ascendant, Saturn is placed into the sixth house in the sign of Pisces, and being retrograde, Jupiter is placed into the fourth house. Fourth house for Libra is 7, 8, 9, 10 Capricorn. Fourth house being debilitated. Okay, is this a parivartan yoga? Yes, this is a parivartan yoga. And when you have a parivartan yoga between uh, difficult houses, it brings in challenges with respect to that house. Okay, I think uh, we have already made a video on parivartan yoga. I will share the link with you. Okay, but yes, whenever you have a parivartan yoga between 6 at 12 to some houses, it always bring in some kind of a challenge with that house. Okay, so always keep that in mind. First Lord Mercury in the 11th house with Rahu and Sun, and 11th Lord Moon in the first house. Yeah, I have already made a video on Sun and Rahu conjunction. Go and watch that, it will help you. Sun, Rahu and Sun, yes. Yes, thank you, Selpas. Okay, Vox Populi, what does mutual exchange between first and second lord mean? Mars and Venus, is it a good for foreign settlement? Yes. Okay. So first house is your physical body, and 12th house is, as we discussed, is a foreign. It's the longer journeys. We call it foreign. It is also about, about the beyond the earth, about beyond this realm as well. But the point here is your body is in the 12th house, is in the foreign place, or is in exchange with the foreign place, somehow creating an association between it, is a very good combination for the settlement. But when this will happen, you have to check dasha. Doesn't matter if you have first lord into the 12th house, but you have a dasha of a fourth lord, okay, which is about the home environment. Okay, so that may not, bring in the foreign travel, or it will delay the foreign travel, and so on. Okay, so check your dasha as well. But this is a combination for foreign settlement. How can we find out what are we going to get rid of and what path we are going to choose when your dasha lord is placed in the nakshatra of dual nature? Let's take purva bhadrapada nakshatra for example. This is like a very good question, but I don't have any ready-made answer for this. But when when you have uh, when you have this dual nakshatra like purva bhadrapada or vishaka, there is always, or even punarvasu, you will have, there is always the element of two. Okay, so you will always have to choose between the two. Okay, but what you have to get rid of and what is your path for that, you need to, deep dive into your d10 and even d60, and you have to check the atmakaraka nakshatra and its condition throughout the vargas as well. Okay, that's a lengthy process of karmic analysis. But yes, we should think like this. Very good question. Jupiter in Saturn star, Jupiter in Saturn star in exalted position. Wonderful. Does Rahu indicate innovation or new things? Yes, Rahu shows things ahead of time, way ahead of time. It's the futuristic plan. So it's connected with new age technology, new things, innovation, foreign things, and thinking beyond your, way ahead of your time. So Kumbha Lagna, Ketu in the seventh house, Ketu Mahadasha begins next year. Any thoughts? Can't say anything, but Ketu Mahadasha is all about spiritual. I would say that some spiritual element would come into your life at the beginning of this Mahadasha. For Ketu Mahadasha surely brings in certain things which are spiritual in life. You will suddenly attract spiritual people in your lives. You will, you'll start following the spiritual practices. You'll start following the speakers who are talking about spirituality and so on, and you will experience this at the beginning of the Ketu Mahadasha. Siddheshwar Sir, Venus, Rahu, and Sun in the fourth house in Karkalagna. What is the effect? Is there any Malavya Yoga of Venus is in the fourth house Karkalagna? See, when you have more than two planets, you have to see the degrees of the planet and see which two planets are close, and then apply the two planetary conjunctions there and then analyze it. And when for Malavya Yoga, yes, Malavya Yoga happens. Malavya Yoga, those who don't know what is Malavya Yoga is one of the Panch Mahapurush Yoga. Pancha is five, Mahapurush is great archetypes. Okay, so Pancha Mahapurush Yoga are one of the five types of planetary people like Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, you know, Venus, and Mercury. So these five kind of best of Jupiter, best of Saturn, best of Venus people are the Panchamahapurush Yoga. Okay. So when Venus is in the Kendra houses, 1, 4, 7, 10, and is in its own sign, that is Libra or Taurus, and is or in exaltation side of sign of uh, the Pisces, then you will have Malavya Yoga. Okay, but again, the quality of the Malavya Yoga depends upon the condition and dignity of other planets and other planets getting associated with that as well. So here, Rahu, the Papa Graha, is getting associated here. So you have to check all the degrees of the planets which are close to each other and see what's happening in your chart. But yes, this is a Malavya Yoga technically, but you have to judge the quality of this yoga. Okay. Yes. Okay, let me just. Okay, let me just see. My luck is worst. I never get attention. Don't say bad things about yourself. Okay. And I have already answered your question, I think, about the sixth house, right? About the parivartan yoga. You are my favorite astrology man. Thank you, Rukudzo Vaka. Thank you for your kind words and stay tuned in. Okay, the next question. Let's check if we have any question. Again, if I'm not able to answer your question quickly, I'm reading all the questions now. Okay, I think we have gone to the idea of all now, no more limited. It seems okay. Okay, what else? How do I deal with North Node in Leo in the seventh house? Okay, so see, Rukudzo Waka, when you have a planet placed into the when you have North Node placed into the sign of Leo in the seventh house, it shows that you will have to, you seventh house is the house of other people, and and North Node or Rahu is the planet of confusion. So the planet of confusion is coming into the house of other people. So you will always have to work on your connection with other people, be it your business partner, your spouse, or any other person. Okay, but when it comes to career, it shows you will have a rise in your career, and you will be appreciated, and you will accept the better opportunities, because it's like a Rahu. We talked about seventh house, right? Seventh house is 10th from the 10th. Seventh house is 10th from the 10th. Okay, so seventh house Rahu is very good for your career. But for relationship, again, Leo is the sign which is about self. Okay, now the planet of self, the sign of self comes into this house of others, and now Rahu is coming in. So there is a lot of confusion around how you take yourself outside, how you take yourself outside, and how other people appreciate you or how other people perceive you. Okay, this is the this is the puzzle you have to solve. This is the axis you have to work on. Okay, I hope this has helped you. And if you still have any question, you can go and browse my Rahu Ketu uh, through houses and through signs uh, videos. It will really help you. Okay, what is the next? Thank you for answering me. Yes, thank you, Ankita ji. Thank you, Harshan. Now let's take Dave Dennis. Sir, ascendant is Vishaka. I won't be able to answer this specific. It seems you're a Capricorn ascendant guy. Okay, let's. Good evening, sir. What does Mars, Venus, and Moon in the 12th house for Gemini ascendant say? Very good placement. Because see, the Mars in the 12th house, Venus in the 12th house for Gemini ascendant is like in its own sign, and it's a very good sign for Venus. Okay, but when you look at the Mars in the 12th house is considered as, you have to take care of your energy, you have to guard your energy. You should not get involved into unnecessary activities in your life. Okay, because if you're involved into unnecessary activity, Mars is the energy in 12th house is a loss, so you will lose energy unnecessary. Okay, 12th house is also the house of bed pleasures, and that is also a way we can lose our energy. Okay, we get exhausted. Okay, so Venus and Mars conjunction into the 12th house is also a very good combination, but Mars is the 6th lord and 11th lord. Okay, both these houses are upachaya houses, but the 6th lord into the 12th house, the dushtana house into another dushtana house, creates viparit yoga, and that is conjunct with the 5th lord, which is Venus. Okay, let me see that. Yeah, Libra, right? So you have to see that for Gemini ascendant it's a very good combination. Okay, but again, check for the dasha, and always check the antradasha of Venus Mercury in any of the planetary dasha, and that will give you an idea how exactly these planets are getting activated. Okay, Purvi Purvi Dabar Gaukar. Taurus Lagna, Jupiter retro, Saturn retro, what fruits they give? Jupiter and Saturn are very important, and they have to be examined clearly, and they have to be examined carefully. When I see the conjunction of Venus, conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, I I have to analyze that uh, chart with, I have to do it in depth. I also have to check the houses ruled by Saturn and Venus. They have back to back rulership, and also the Vimshottari Mahadasha. Okay, it's not as obvious and easy as any other planets. Okay, but this two planetary conjunction shows the wisdom and the discipline together. Very good combination if well placed, well dignified into your chart. Okay, and Jupiter retro is a very good combination. Okay, I love Jupiter retrograde. It has certain issues with it, but when it comes to capacities, Jupiter retrograde gives you the capacity to do things which nobody else is able to do it. Okay, and it becomes more like a Saturn. When Jupiter goes retrograde, it becomes more like a Saturn. Saturn Venus conjunction in ninth house Taurus ascendant makes no sense to me. I don't know how to, what it means. You should go and watch my conjunctions D1 versus D9. Okay, then you will realize, because D9 placements are nothing but the padas or the degrees of the planets in D1. So how these Saturn and Venus are conjunct in certain Navamsha could be different, right? So that you have to check. Rahu Mercury conjunction in Bharani nakshatra. Pada 1 and 4 in 8. I'm Virgo rising. Could you please give some suggestions as my atmakaraka is with? Okay. So when you have this planet, it shows a lot of confusion around the self. It shows that you will have lot of confusion around your self as an individual, and also you have to really embrace your if you're a man, your male side; if you're a female, your female side. Okay, so a lot of confusion around your individuality due to this placement. Okay. Now, first and seventh lord conjunct in the sixth house, Taurus. Okay. So for Taurus ascendant, first lord and the seventh lord are Venus and Mars. Okay. So Venus Mars conjunction is a wonderful I really like this conjunction. Whenever I see this conjunction, this is a conjunction which brings in the passion in the relationship. And when it goes into the sixth house, it brings in the heartbreak. Initially, it will bring in the heartbreak. So whenever I see Mars and Venus conjunct into the sixth house, I see some initial breakups in your relationship in the early life of in early part, but then it brings in the passion in the relationship. It brings in that uh, it brings in that love and passion to that Venus. Okay, but first lord and seventh lord. When seventh lord goes into the sixth house, it is going 12th to the seventh, and it is going sixth to the seventh, right? So if it is anyhow associated with Saturn, even though there would be arguments into the relationship because of the sixth house aspecting the 12th house, but it won't break the relationship. Okay, but Mars and Venus in the sixth house uh, will really make you become uh, will really bring in some kind of argument in your relationship as well. Okay, so check out the degrees of the Venus and Mercury, not Mercury, Venus and Mars. Okay, let's say you have Venus with the lowest degree, or you have Mars with the Venus degree. Okay, and comment down below, or email me. Will guide you if you have any other placement as well. Would happy to help you with this. Okay, but for your question, one line answer is first lord and seventh lord conjunct is a very good combination, and this energy is going into the sixth house of delays and argument. But at the same time, sixth house is the house of growth and continuous progress. So your relationship will improve over the period of time because of the upachaya nature of this house. Okay. Ruku Zar. How to deal with Leo in the North Node? Right, we talked about right North. By the way, thank you for super chat. It really helps me to uh, to help and work with this channel. It really gives me the creative freedom. Thank you. Okay, so Leo is the sign of self, and Rahu is confusion. So it shows a lot of confusion around the self. The only way to remove this confusion is to embrace your individuality. Okay, you have to embrace your individuality. That will bring in the self. That will, give you the clarity about the who you are. Don't always associate yourself with the group. Bring in the self. Always take an initiative. Always have an individual opinion. Okay, that's the way to deal with Leo. uh, Rahu. In fact, this is a very good Rahu for creative pursuits like music, art, cinema, media, right? It's a very good placement. So let's. Suresh Mani, I remember I think during the live free training, I think we covered your chart as well, and then we stopped suddenly. Do you remember this? How many of you remember this? Suresh Mani, I know your chart, and I think I have also analyzed your chart for element and everything for the live free training. Okay, so would definitely help you with the timing of marriage. Just email me with your details. Okay, I would definitely send you my feedback. Yes, yes, most definitely. Okay. And those who have not attended the live free training, I would highly recommend you to go and check the live free training. It is for more than 3 hours. Okay. Don't think that it's free. So, it's not good enough. No, I share this content with my students as a premium content. Okay, but I still share it with the public. Okay, but you don't get the download of that. Only my students get those downloads. Okay, but you can most definitely watch it for free and learn a lot and take your analysis to the next level. Most definitely you should check that out. Yadu Krishnan Menon, please don't share your birth chart here. Please don't share it. You just skip my question about the Cancer Capricorn ascendant, right? I have. This is not the like. What was your question? I remember it was something to do with Capricorn ascendant. That's what I remember, but I didn't skip it. Okay, you can put it again. I will answer that. Bro, Rahu and Cancer since Aquarius. What I think I have covered this. Any comment on Venus on Mano? Selpas, thank you. I'm happy that it is resonating with your personal life experience. Yes, thank you. Dev Dennis, we won't be able to cover the nakshatras and the details into this session with this detailing. So I won't be able to answer this. Apologies for that. Okay. Maybe when we'll have a live stream for nakshatra specifically, we will most definitely cover that. Because right now I'm not able to answer this question. I watched both videos on Jupiter in 8th house, Saturn in the 8th house. What are your thoughts about Jupiter and Saturn in Libra in the 8th house? It seems it would be contradictory. If you remember just before, like like couple of questions before, I told you, whenever I see Jupiter and Saturn conjunct, like I just open my antenna. I have to analyze it carefully, because they are the two of the biggest planets. Okay, so when Saturn goes into the eighth house, or any planet goes into the eighth house is a hidden house. Okay, so the planet of knowledge and the longevity is coming into the eighth house, but again, it only shows the connection, but you need to see the power, need to see the transit and dasha. Okay, but always remember the eighth house is 11th from the 10th house, and Saturn has the third house aspect. So eighth house Saturn will always aspect the 10th house and will bring in more effort into the 10th house. The third house aspect of the Saturn makes you work. So when Saturn is in the eighth house and is into aspecting the 10th house, it makes you work. That's what Saturn is all about, and the 10th house. So you get the work, and the 11th house is the house of gains, right? So, yes, Jupiter and Saturn are polar opposite to each other. So whenever they are conjunct, you have to see the degrees of them and see who is ruling you right now. Let's say you have Jupiter and Saturn. Let's say you have Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in Libra. Okay, so it's like for Pisces ascendant in Libra, you have Jupiter and Saturn, and you are going through the mahadasha of Mercury. So this conjunction hardly matters. Okay, but let's say you're going through the mahadasha of Jupiter, you're going through the mahadasha of Saturn, then this combination becomes super important. But yes, Jupiter and Saturn are opposite of each other. They are the polar opposite of each other. Always be careful when you are judging Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. For Leo ascendant, Ketu in the first house signifies what? It shows a confident person. Okay. Fifth lord, fifth house, Jupiter, Venus. Okay. Does Venus and Jupiter in Pisces give spiritual knowledge and intuition? Yes. Okay. You'll be surprised to know that Venus gets exalted into the sign of Jupiter. Jupiter is the Jupiter is the planet which is all about the Jupiter is the planet, like Pisces is the sign of universal love. That's the last sign, mature sign. And Venus gets exalted there. So Venus is, open for all, loving everybody universally, compassionate, right? And 12th house is like 12th sign, the sign of Pisces, is ruled by water. And water element signs are intuitive. They are mysterious, but at the same time, they are intuitive. And Jupiter and Venus are the two planets which are the teachers. The planet Jupiter is also known as Brihaspati, is a teacher of Devas. And Venus, Shukracharya, is the teacher of the Asuras. Okay, so these two gurus, these two teachers into the intuitive and Jupiter ruled water element sign is a very good combination to have this intuition. Okay, I hope this has helped you. Thank you for your super chat. Okay, let me just go through this. Selfless, thank you for sharing your. Thank you, Selfless, for your super chat. It really helps me. I'm super grateful for your support. Now, did I miss any question? Okay, Mars with lower degree, Vishakha nakshatra, first and similar taller, the Taurus conjunction. Okay, so when you have Mars and Venus conjunction, and Mars is at lower degree, so Mars is dominating now. Okay, so it will bring in the qualities of Mars. It will bring in the aggression into the relationship. Okay, initially in your life. Would having all the malefics planets, Mars, Saturn, and Rahu in the sixth house be benefic instead? And how will this affect? Okay, so it all depends upon your Lagna. Okay, but generally speaking, if you have malefic planets into the Dushtana house, the sixth house is in fact, or third house, sixth house, 10th house, and 11th house. If you have any planet, malefic planets are welcome here because these planets perform well in these houses, and these are the houses which grows with time. So as the time passes by, these planets tend to give better result with with their signification. And how it will affect the dasha, whenever you have, let's say you have a dasha of Saturn, or you have a dasha of Rahu, and whenever you will have the antra dasha of these two three planets, the sixth house will get activated. Okay, and it will bring in the events related to the sixth house. Sixth house is all about your work. It's one of the artha trikona house. Okay, apart from being dushtana and challenging, it is also about the work and work ethics. Okay, let me see. Okay, Kritika, I have Moon Rahu in 12th house, Virgo ascendant, so in Leo, and I have gone through heartbreak and few weird experiences. I have Saturn in the 7th house, Revati. Please help me. I'm just confused. Okay, so you have to see the whenever you have Moon and Rahu conjunction, it's it is all about when you have one suggestion I would give you is you have to somewhat reduce the amount of work you do, and you have to meditate. Okay, this will help you. uh, and these two, yeah, Moon and Rahu, yeah. So these two things are very important for you. Okay, and don't expect the same work ethics from people who are your subordinates or working under you, or even in relationship. Don't expect that. Okay, I know I have not completely explained you because I have some limitations when I speak in public. Okay, so if you are looking for a guidance, you can always reach out to me or in a comment section or through email. Okay, happy to help you. What will happen to career during Bhrigu Bindu? To be frank, I don't have any knowledge, any in-depth knowledge about Bhrigu Bindu. Okay, so I won't be able to tell you about that. But Bhrigu Bindu uh, is a midpoint of Moon and Rahu. Okay, and that is the Rahu and Moon itself, because Moon is Rahu is the north node of the Moon. right? So that Bhrigu Bindu becomes even more acute point. Okay, so I don't really consider Bhrigu Bindu as one of the important considerations while analyzing a chart. Okay, please explain about Ketu in the fourth, Rahu in the 10th sign. Please reply. Yes, when you have Rahu in the 10th house and Ketu in the fourth house, it simply shows that you will always be you will start working early in your life. You will start accepting responsibilities way too early in your life. Okay, and you should always be involved into things which you like to do. And one more thing, when if you're going through a Rahu mahadasha and you have Rahu placed into the 10th house, make sure you will continue doing those things even after starting those things. Otherwise, most of the times it happens that you start something new and then you lose interest into that. That should not happen. That is a typical Rahu in the 10th house thing. Okay, because 10th house is again the house of work, but Rahu is confusion. Rahu loves to be in the 10th house, so he accepts new responsibilities, but again, they don't feel like doing it, which is more like a Ketu in the fourth house, which really confuses them and makes them feel, okay, I don't want to do that. And that is the clash. That is the puzzle for these people. Seventh house sun will disturb the marriage? No. Okay, you will hear that seventh house sun is all about ego in marriages and things. But if you have, let's say you have debilitated sun, or you have Leo sun, Aries sun, okay, when you have sun in the seventh house, it shows that more than like sun is the self and seventh house is the house of others. That's why it is not compatible with this house, but it doesn't always mean that it will bring in difficulty in marriage. I have seen people with this sun in the seventh house having a very good marriage. Why? Maybe let's say you have sun in the seventh house in the Pisces ascendant, you have sun in the seventh house, but it also has Mercury with it, and a dominant Mercury, right? So you will have a friendly and wonderful spouse, right? So just sun in the seventh house, then it can bring in some challenges. Because of it, it can bring in some ego clashes as well, because sun is the self-esteem and seventh house is the house of partners and so on. So you have to analyze it with these things in your mind. Okay, I hope this has helped you. Jupiter and Rahu. Yeah, we did that, right? Let me just. Okay. Can you please explain what does it mean to have Jupiter and Saturn conjunction in the ninth house for Virgo ascendant? Okay. Jupiter is in the Rohini and Saturn is in. I think you should go and check out. We have already discussed about Saturn and Jupiter. I have Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn in the eighth house in Aries and all combusted deeply and running Venus Dasha. Will this help me settling abroad? Check the 12th house, check the Dasha, check the fourth house, check the fourth Lord, and also check what's happening with the Dasha Lord. Thank you, Kritikka ji. Retrograde Venus and Sun conjuncted, what does it signify? Right. Anil Manwakar. How Venus in Scorpio affect marriage? To be frank, it literally doesn't mean anything, because we can talk about what it means when you have Venus in Scorpio, but without knowing the ascendant, without knowing what's happening in that uh, chart, and no point in just talking about it. But let me tell you, when you have Venus in Scorpio, the planet of the planet of relationship goes into the sign which is all about the emotional vulnerability. So these people always have emotional vulnerability around their relationship. Okay, let's say it also shows sometimes jealousy in a relationship, right? And so on. But again, there are canceling effects. Let's say you have Mars with this Venus conjunct, will change the course for you. Or let's say you have this Venus into the seventh house, sixth house, or you have this Scorpio in the fourth house, will change the lordship of Venus accordingly, right? And that will change the meaning for you, right? So just Venus in the Scorpio literally means very few things, but nothing concluding. Okay, so analyze the complete chart, then you will have a better idea about what's happening with what are the condition of the seventh lord, Darakaraka, and so on, right? Amitabh Chaudhary, don't share your birth details here. Please delete this comment. Okay, I already answered that. Moon Rahu conjunction in the fourth house, Aranya translation, etc. Okay, Yogesh, whenever you have Moon and Rahu conjunction, it shows a lot of aggression. It shows obsession about certain things in life. Okay, it also shows obsession towards your homeland. Okay, sir, what are the combinations for early fame and mass wealth? We'll make a video on that. What happens during to career during Venus Mahadasha, for example, Ketu with this? No, I won't be able to. I'm not able to visualize it. It's too specific. Okay, what else? Mm, did I miss any question? Okay, let me check this. Neha Chalotra. I hope I pronounce it right. Rahu in the seventh house for Taurus ascendant. Mars in 12 degrees Cancer, like in third degree. What are its significance? Okay, so when you have Rahu placed into the seventh house and Mars into the sixth house for Taurus ascendant, right? So the Lord of the seventh house is into the third house, okay, and Rahu into the seventh. So what it shows is you have to invest yourself into a relationship, okay? Otherwise, your partner might think you are selfish, okay, which you may not be, but the other person will think that you are not invested enough, you're just looking for yourself and you're selfish, okay? So you should take care of these, and that will improve your relationship. Next is seventh house lord, that is Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter and Venus in Vishaka in second house, along with Mercury and Rahu, Virgo ascendant. What does it signify? I'm not able to visualize. GK, Virgo ascendant, Virgo ascendant chart. I have no planets in eighth house. Jupiter in the fifth house. Virgo ascendant chart, I have no planets in the eighth house. Okay, no planets in Aries. Jupiter in the fifth house. Okay, 12, 11, 10. Okay, debilitated Jupiter. Ketu in the sixth. Saturn in the seventh. How much will be the lifespan? Okay, so for lifespan, there are many things we have to look for, and not a good place to share it on this public platform. Usually, I don't predict about it, but there are rules about it. First thing we have to look for is the lifespan. So the important significations for lifespan are your ascendant, your eighth lord, moon. Okay, so you have to. I'm just giving you the hint. I won't be able to answer that. Okay, my apologies for that. But yes, these are the things you have to look for. Okay, we have a super chat from Harshit. What he has to say. Harshit BG. For Virgo ascendant, how will be Venus Dasha? When Venus and Jupiter in the 12th house with respect to relationship and health. For Virgo ascendant, you have to look for see the Venus is ruling the ninth house and Jupiter is ruling the fourth and the seventh house, and both these planets are going into the 12th house. Venus in the 12th house is a very good combination. Okay, you won't believe that, but 12th house is also the house of bed pleasures. Okay, so this is a very good combination for Venus and Jupiter in the 12th house. Okay, next. What is this? Is that true? When a planet is in retrograde, it signifies the prior house. It is like, okay, some of the scholars might be, researching, or they might have some knowledge, but don't, I don't use it personally. I don't, I don't apply it on the chart like that, because at least in Parashara, in Bhrigu, it might be so, but in Parashara, because if we consider the previous house as well, then let's say Jupiter has three aspects. If it also is affecting the prior house, it's like aspecting more than eight houses. Okay, so it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so I don't use it, but yes, the retrogression is powerful and unusual. Whether it is good or bad, it's a different story. Okay, there can be different school of thoughts for that, but retrogression is a cheshtabala, is one of the shadbala, which shows the strength, which shows the powerful and unusual nature of the planet. But it certainly doesn't reflect anything prior to it, is what I believe in and practice, and getting better results with that. Okay, I hope this has helped you. Rahu and Venus in the 11th house. We already made a video with Rahu and Venus. When it is in the 11th house, the house of desires, conjunct with the planet of amplification, it shows, having bigger dreams. It shows you have, you're looking for dreams which are like amplified dreams. Okay, and at times, if it is affected, it also shows unrealistic dreams at times. Okay, so check the strength of these two planets to see what's happening in. But yes, these two planets associated with 11th house is a very good combination for gains in life. Can you please tell me what is D9 exactly? D9 is D9 is a Navamsha, like I have already made a video. You can go and check that video with D9 or Navamsha. You can just search D9 Pramanik or Navamsha Pramanik. You will get a detailed video about it. But to quickly tell you about what D9 is, in D1 you have planets in certain degrees, and those degrees you have association with the planets nakshatra and pada. And if you have a certain planet at certain degree, it goes into certain pada, and that pada is a navamsha. Okay, that pada is not a navamsha, but we call it the navamsha pada. Sounds complicated, but it's not that complicated. It's very easy. Just go and watch that video, and if you still have any problem with this, just email me. I will send you the document to know more about it, or will explain you with email. Hmm? Please email me back. What is D9 exist? Some are saying it is only for marriage. Some are saying it will be activated after marriage and after the age of the world. I believe that D9 is with you ever since you are born. Okay, and is an important uh, chart, and it is it is with you throughout your life. Okay, it doesn't get activated into the later part or earlier part, but this is with you throughout, because they are uh, the D9 is nothing but the degrees of the D1. Okay, you will come to know more about it once you watch couple of videos around that or read certain articles around that. But don't get confused with it. If you ask me what I believe in, I don't believe in that it is only activated after certain age, or on the later part of it. Though it is all about the relationship, it is also about the relationship, but it is much more than that as well. Okay, we usually use it for relationship. Okay, I'm running a Rahu Mahadasha, Gemini Lagna, and terrified about upcoming Rahu in Aries. Any advice for Gemini Lagna? Why are you terrified? Rahu is coming into the sign of Aries, which is 11th house, and 11th house is the house of gains. Okay, so don't worry about it. Don't be afraid of it. Those who are watching this, let me tell you, no matter how challenging your planetary alignments are, don't be afraid about it. Okay, you have to face it, and don't just go for any remedies. I would recommend you not to go for any remedies, because that planet wants to teach you certain lessons in this life by bringing in some challenging situations which will mold you and make you a better you, or the next level you, and you are avoiding it by doing some remedies. The only remedy is to knowing things and responding it with a better understanding to have a better result. Okay, coming back to your question about Rahu in Aries for Gemini ascendant is a very good combination. The only thing you have to work on, or the focus on, is you should not get caught in a you should not get caught in a routine. Okay, always keep exploring things, keep challenging yourself, and see that you are not living a monotonous life. That's the mantra for you, and there is nothing to be afraid of. Okay, I don't think anything to you should afraid of. Just be happy and embrace the changes coming in from April, and ride on that transit. If in Taurus ascendant, Saturn is posited in the ninth house with 24 degrees, is it a Kendra Trikon Raj Yoga and Dharmadipati Yoga? Okay. See, for Taurus ascendant, Saturn is ruling the ninth lord. Saturn is ruling the ninth house, Capricorn, and the 10th house, Aquarius. For any yoga to have, there has to be two planets. Yoga is nothing but the union. Okay, the Kendradipati yoga you're talking about. But whenever it is the ninth lord or any lord, this is a stand-alone Raj yoga. Okay, because it is ruling the other Kendra house and is ruling the trine house. This itself is, even if you have Taurus ascendant and you have Saturn placed in any house alone, without any aspect, without any conjunction, this itself is a Raj Yoga for you. Okay, so yes, Saturn into the ninth house with 24 degrees is a Raj Yoga, and Dharma Karmadipati is the ninth and the tenth lord, right? The conjunction of the ninth and tenth lord. But here it is not the conjunction; it is the same planet ruling these two houses. So that yoga is not getting activated, okay? Because it needs two different planets to rule that, okay? But it is a standalone Raj yoga, powerful yoga, straight away. Okay, let me just look at the. Okay, let me just see. Clayton. Prasad, please tell me about Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, Jupiter, Sun conjunction in the second house. Okay. So when you have, these are the, when you have more than two planets, always check for the degrees and see the planets which are close to each other and apply the two planetary conjunction. Okay, and when you have so many planets in the second house, shows that people will look up to you as a dependable person, will look up to you as a person who is who will feed them, who will help them. Okay, usually I've seen these with the people who are, uh, the leader in the family. Okay, the one who is dependable, like people, all the families will look up to him as a person who is earning or, providing, and is considered as a responsible person. That's what I can see with this placement. I hope this helps. Moon is in 2, 3, 6, 8, 11, 12 houses. We should use a different dasha. For example, if moon is in the 12th house, so we should use Ahana Dasha 8 star from Bircha technique from. Yeah, if this is altogether different, but as a general rule, we should most definitely use two dashas. Okay, we should most definitely use two dashas. And if Sanjay Rath has said this, there must be some substance behind that. He is a superstar, he's a legend. Okay, so always think, but for you and me, the normal basic student of Vedic astrology, for us, we should always have one dasha, like Vimshotri Mahadasha, and one dasha which is, the dasha which is about uh, either the Narayani dasha, Chara dasha, or Yogini dasha. Okay, there are hundred and more dashas, but I would say you should stick to at least 2 to 3 dashas with this to analyze. When planet is combust, if gemstone to be worn to Pranav, I don't believe in gemstones. Okay, because as I told you, the planet is already present in in his the planet which is already present thousands of years back wants to teach you something, and you want to dodge it by wearing some gemstone. It will really make him angry. So so try to learn what he wants to teach you. Okay, and don't just go for any remedies or any kind of gemstone, would be my suggestion. Okay, instead of that, I would recommend you to understand the karmic patterns in your chart. What are the things which you can change? That will give you better idea about it. Super strict. Yes, thank you Shankar Shanaka. Incredible. Thank you. How can I decide my nakshatra pada? I have an issue with Purva Shada nakshatra and Uttara Shada. How can I know if it comes in Vargottama? You can go to any of the website, just cast the chart, and nowadays they provide you with all these details. Okay, I hope this has helped you. And if I have understood your question right, that's what you want to know, right? DB, we have already talked about it when we were covering the question of Shankar Sanaka. Okay, you just can rewind the stream and you will get the answer. Can we read the D60 for today like the D1? Though D1 and D60 are same, I didn't get your question. Like you want to use it like Prashna chart, or you would be using it for natal analysis. Okay, though D1 and D60 are same because they are the only charts, D1 and D60, which talks about your complete life. Okay, if planets are combusted by the combusted by the sun, can you still call it a conjunction? Yes, it is a conjunction. Why not? The question is whether that will give you any kind of fruits or not. Okay, that's the real question. But yes, for conjunction, we will consider it as a conjunction. Leo Lagna with Venus and Mercury in the first, Saturn in the. I'm not able to visualize this. That's why I won't be able to answer you with this. Venus retrograde, Mercury and Mars in the fifth house for Capricorn, ascendant aspected by Saturn and Ketu in the third. What will be the result? Venus retrograde, Mercury and Mars in the fifth house for Capricorn ascendant, and Saturn Ketu in the third house. Right. So you just have to Venus and Mars conjunction. We already talked about it, uh, coupled with Venus and Mercury and Mars. So it's in a way it's a very good combination, and it shows that you will believe in your intelligence. Okay, you will use your skills and intelligence in your life more than anything else. How can we decide that which nakshatra I born? Like Lagna nakshatra is Mrigashira, Moon nakshatra is Ashla. So in which nakshatra I born? Yeah, we call it Moon nakshatra and Lagna nakshatra or ascendant nakshatra. You will be influenced by both these nakshatras. Okay, I think we have covered all the questions. If I have missed any question, just reach out to me. And those who are watching this live, those who are watching this live, please share this with your friends. And if anybody has put that timestamps, please put that into the comment section as well. And we'll see you on the next Friday with live question answers. Get ready with your question and answer. We will see you on the next Friday with live, or yeah, with live session. We'll start with next Friday. Okay, get ready with your questions. Just collect the questions. We'll cover that. Okay, yeah. So sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibrations. See you in the next videos. Love and peace. Thank you. I think somebody has sent the super chat. Thank you, Anjali ji. Thank you for the super chat. It really helps me. What does Ketu in the seventh house of Libra of D9 chart, Saturn retrograde, Venus in the 10th house? Navamsha, does it indicate karmic? What does Ketu in the seventh house of Libra of D9 chart indicate? Saturn plus retrograde Venus in the 10th house. See, whenever you are judging any placement in the D9, always check the D1 placement. Okay, so Ketu in the seventh house, Ketu in the seventh house shows that you will not be interested into a relationship. Okay, the quest for, so seventh house is the house of other people. Okay, and first house is the house of self, and Rahu is the planet of confusion. So whenever you have Rahu placed into the first house and Ketu into the seventh house, shows that you will be, you know, you will be confused about yourself. You will always be, there will be a lot of confusion about your identity, and that would be the biggest challenge in your relationship. Okay, and if it is not conjunct with any of these planets, always check for the seventh house lord. The condition of the seventh house lord in D1 and condition of Darakaraka in D1 and D9 would really help you to understand the that would really help you to understand the nature of the relationship. But yes, Rahu Ketu into the seventh house and Saturn plus Venus, when we look at this condition, like Saturn and Venus are the friends. Okay, Saturn and Venus are friends with each other, but we don't follow the retrogression in D9 chart. Retrogression, combustion, all these things are observed into the D1 chart itself. Okay, so you will not I won't be able to, I would recommend you not to consider that into the D9 chart. It won't help you. So when you're using retrogression in, in software, you will get all these things. But I would recommend you to not, because it is an astronomical phenomena happening only in D1 chart, is what I believe in. Okay. So yes, all these are the karmic connections. Okay. Also check if your seventh house in D1, Anjali ji, your seventh house in D1 has any connection with the Ketu or Saturn, Venus, and Rahu. That will give you the real idea about what's happening in a D9 chart. Okay, I hope this has helped you. And I'm still getting questions. What was your question, Ranjanji? Which question did I miss? Okay, so even if I have missed anything, please share this on comment section. I hope all of you have enjoyed this. I'm still getting questions. Effects of Saturn in the fifth house go for Capricorn. Okay, Saturn in the fifth house shows delays. Okay, so yes, thank you for being with me on this live Q&A. See you in the next Venus, next Friday. Sending you tons of positive energy. Namaste.